Okay, so welcome to my channel. So today we will see how a petrol engine works. So in this lecture, I will be also explaining you the thermodynamic aspect of the working of the petrol engine, in the sense that we will also see the PV as well as TS diagram of the petrol engine. So before we get into the lecture, let me put off my video. So we will be looking into the four-stroke process of a petrol engine. But let me remind you that we also have the two-stroke process. What is a petrol engine? A petrol engine is simply an internal combustion engine which generates power by igniting a mixture of petrol and air. The ideal air to fuel ratio for the complete combustion is 14.7 is to 1. This simply means that if you want to take it from the liters point of view, you can take 14.7 liters of the air, and this air can be mixed with 1 liter of the gasoline or the petrol, and it forms the mixture. So this mixture is required for the combustion process in the gasoline or the petrol engine. So it works on the Otto cycle, which Otto cycle or the petrol engine has four main processes: intake, compression, power, and exhaust. Let me repeat it. It has intake, which is also known as suction process, followed by compression. After that, we have the combustion process, and finally exhaust process. So this is the combustion chamber of the four-stroke gasoline engine. So you don't have to know the name of all different components here, but let me introduce you some of the important components. So in the gasoline or the petrol engine, one of the most important component is this spark plug, which is absent in the diesel engine. Spark plug is present here. You will have the intake pipe as well as exhaust pipe. So in the intake pipe, you have the intake valve. In the exhaust pipe, you have the exhaust valve. And this is the cylinder inside which the mixture of the gasoline and air comes into and undergoes the combustion. So this is the cylinder. So in the cylinder, you have the piston. This is the piston. This piston can go up and down. And see, this piston is connected to the crankshaft with the help of connecting rod. When the piston comes down, it makes one rotation of the crankshaft, and when the piston goes up, it makes another rotation of the crankshaft. These are the very important components. But let me also introduce you two important terms. When this piston reaches the bottommost center, this is known as bottom dead center. In short form, BDC. And when this piston reaches the topmost center, this is known as top dead center. So when it is reaching the bottom dead center, we can calculate Vmax, maximum volume. When it reaches the top dead center, then it is known as Vmin, minimum volume. So these are the very important components, and then these processes happens in this component. So let me explain all these processes one by one. After that, we will see the animation as to how this runs. Okay, so let us begin with the intake process. So intake happens through this intake pipe. So meaning, first of all, the suction of the uh, air plus gasoline in the ratio of around 15 is to 1 takes place. So this mixture is introduced into the combustion chamber. So this valve opens and this mixture is introduced into the combustion chamber. How that happens? That happens when this piston goes down. When the piston is going down, the exhaust valve remains normally closed, and when this goes down, the pressure decreases and suction is caused. So therefore, appropriate amount of the mixture comes into the combustion chamber. So this is known as intake or the suction process. Suction process is followed by the compression. So once this piston reaches the bottom dead center, then it starts moving up. So when it starts going up, the intake valve as well as the exhaust valve remains closed. The air plus gasoline vapor get compressed. So you know how much compression happens? Basically, the peak pressure that develops when this piston reaches the top dead center is around 10 to 14 bars of pressure, and because of the compression, the temperature inside this combustion chamber also increases. The temperature of the mixer also increases. It increases to 400 to 600 degrees Celsius typically. So that is what is going to happen. So once that compression happens, then the spark plug comes into its action. So then the spark plug produces the spark, and remember, we already have highly heated gasoline vapor plus air, and when that comes into contact with the spark, a spontaneous ignition happens. Ignition or the combustion happens. So that process is known as combustion or the power process. Now, because the combustion has happened, this is going to cause the buildup of the pressure. So here this valve has closed. This valve is already closed. So pressure has increased. So because of which the piston goes down. The piston is being pushed down. So when the piston is being pushed down, it is making one rotation of the crankshaft, which is finally connected to the wheels, if you want to see from the perspective of the car. When this piston reaches the bottom dead center, after that, the intake valve remains closed, exhaust valve remains open, and then when it is going up after that one, the exhaust happens. So the smoke as well as the heat that was being built up gets exhausted out. So again this goes up, again the intake valve opens, again the mixture of fuel and gasoline is introduced, again the it has been compressed, spark plug produces the spark. So this goes up and down and up and down. You'll be surprised to know that typically 3000 rpm can take place, meaning 3000 revolution per minute. That means that for every second you can see 50 revolution. One revolution is equal to one time this piston reaching on the top dead center and then another time reaching the bottom dead center. So that is known as one revolution. So this process happens very, very fast. So after this, let me show you the animation. Number one, suction, piston going down. Number two, compression, compressing air plus fuel mixer. Number three, the action of the spark plug, that is a power or combustion happening. And number four, the exhaust happening. So intake is happening from the right side and exhaust is happening from the left side in this picture. Now you can also see the detailed processes on the picture on the right hand side. So let me give you around 4 or 5 seconds to observe this animation. So as I have already mentioned that through this process we can also find out the compression ratio. Compression ratio is nothing but it is V max by V minimum, meaning the volume at the bottom dead center divided by the volume at the top dead center. So typically in the gasoline engine, V max by V min is 8:1. Okay, now let us look into the second part of the lecture, that is the thermodynamic perspective of the Otto cycle. So here we will be looking into the pressure, volume and temperature entropy diagrams as well. So as I have mentioned already, the Otto cycle is a theoretical thermodynamic cycle that models the operation of spark ignition internal combustion engine such as a gasoline engine. So like any other thermodynamic cycle, Otto cycle also contains four main processes. They are compression followed by heat addition. After that, expansion followed by heat rejection. I repeat, compression, heat addition, expansion and heat rejection. So they are based on the thermodynamic perspective. So if you look carefully, you'll come to know that compression and expansion, they are opposite to each other, and both these processes are adiabatic in nature. Similarly, heat addition and heat rejection, they are opposite to each other, and both these processes happens at constant volume. So you can also name them as adiabatic compression, heat addition at constant volume, or adiabatic expansion, or heat rejection at constant volume. So here now I have already shown you the four processes of the gasoline engine, and also have shown you here the four processes of the thermodynamic perspective of the Otto cycle, that is nothing but gasoline engine. So how do you relate to each of them, you know? So now we are going to relate the four processes of the gasoline engine to that of the four processes of the Otto cycle as per the thermodynamic perspective. So this is the first one, is the isentropic compression. Let me tell you that uh, if it is adiabatic in nature, then it is going to be at constant entropy. So if it is at constant entropy, the term we can use it is as isentropic. So the first process is isentropic compression. Okay, you can just look, we have seen this combustion chamber already. Then second is constant volume heat addition, that is the spark plug has produced the spark and then the combustion has taken place. After that, isentropic expansion. So I told you already, compression and expansion, they are opposite to each other, and then they have been at constant entropy. So because of the heat, the pressure builds up and then the piston is going down, and finally the exhaust valve opens and then the heat is released out. So isentropic compression, constant volume heat addition, followed by isentropic expansion and constant volume heat rejection. So finally, we are now into the PV and TS diagrams of the Otto cycle. So first of all, let us complete the PV diagram, and then I'll take you to the TS diagram. S stands for entropy. Entropy simply means randomness. So first of all, let us look into the pressure volume diagram. So we are going to start with the first processes, this isentropic compression, 1 to 2 process. So 1 is here, 2 is here. So because of the compression, you can see there is a decrease in the volume, and because we are compressing, the pressure is increasing. So this was the initial pressure here, and this is the final pressure. Now the second process, as we have seen just now, is constant volume heat addition. By the way, you know, when that particular piston reaches the top dead center, heat addition takes place. That is the place where the spark plug has produced the spark, right? So constant volume heat addition is represented in 2 to 3 labels in this particular diagram. So because the volume is constant, you are not coming right, or you are not going to go towards the left. So it is a straight line, and because you're adding heat, the pressure builds up, so the pressure increases. So you can see sharp increase in the pressure. And number 3 is isentropic expansion. So expansion is happening, so that is 3 to 4 processes. So this is the process because of which, you know, the work is done. When the piston is going down, it is moving the crankshaft because it is expanding. So that you can see here, volume increases and pressure decreases. When the volume increases, pressure decreases. And the final one is constant volume heat addition. So volume is constant, so therefore we are not coming towards the left, nor we are going towards the right. So therefore it is a straight line here. So the constant volume heat rejection takes place at the bottom dead center. So when the heat rejection takes place, you can see sharp decrease in the pressure. So finally the cycle is completed. So PV cycle is completed. Now let us look into the TS cycle, right? TS diagram. So we are going to begin with the 1 to 2 process. So 1 to 2 is here, and it is isentropic. Isentropic means uh, at constant entropy. So to make it at constant entropy, it has to be insulated properly, and that process has to be adiabatic in nature. So 1 to 2 is at constant entropy, so you will not see going towards the right side or going towards the left side, because it is entropy is constant, so it is a straight line, right? So because compression is happening, because of the compression, the molecular collision increases, kinetic energy increases, so there is a sharp increase in the temperature. So you can see the rise in temperature here, 1 to 2. And second one is constant volume heat addition. So here volume is constant and we're adding heat. So the moment we start adding heat, so the entropy increases. Not only increasing the entropy is observed because we're adding heat, temperature also rises. So by adding heat, the molecular collision increases, so therefore the randomness or entropy increases. So number 3, or the third process, is isentropic expansion, represented by 3 to 4 processes. So it is isentropic, meaning at constant entropy. So entropy is on the x-axis, so it is not going towards the right side, nor it is coming towards the left side, so therefore it is a straight line. So this is the place where work is done during the expansion, right? So now because of the expansion, there is a sharp decrease in the temperature, so we can see temperature drops. And then the final process is constant volume heat rejection, that basically happens at the bottom dead center. So that is represented by 4 to 1 process. So when heat is rejected, that is, heat is lost, so you can see there is a decrease in the temperature, and when heat is rejected, the entropy also decreases. So this actually completes both PV as well as TS diagram. Uh, Now let's look into the how to calculate the efficiency of Otto-Cycle. So the efficiency of Otto-Cycle is given by this eta, that is thermal efficiency, is equal to 1 minus 1 by R raised to gamma minus 1. So eta is nothing but thermal efficiency. This R is the compression ratio, which I have mentioned already, that is V max by V minimum, that is simply the volume of the cylinder at the bottom dead center to the volume of the cylinder at the top dead center, right? So we can actually find out the compression ratio. And finally, gamma is the ratio of specific heat, that is Cp divided by Cv. So specific heat at constant pressure divided by specific heat at constant volume. So if we have the data for all these parameters, we should be able to calculate the efficiency of the Otto cycle. So that is it. I hope you understood the working principle of the Otto cycle as well as how car engine works. So thank you so much. If you like my video, please do like, share and subscribe. And in the comment section, also please mention that on what topics you would like me to make the videos. Thank you so much.